If you're over 60, you've probably noticed something. Life slows down, whether you want it to or not. The energy you once had isn't quite the same. The joints creak a little more, and the body reminds you that it's been carrying you around for a long time. But here's the thing. Slowing down isn't a bad thing. It's a natural shift. The problem is that many people fight against it the wrong way. They think they need to push harder, move more, and keep up with the pace they had in their younger years. That's a mistake. If you're over 60, moving less, but moving smarter, is the key to aging well. It's not about stopping, sitting still, or giving up. It's about shifting your focus. Instead of overexerting yourself, your energy should be spent wisely on things that truly matter. Because after a certain age, life stops being about quantity. It's all about quality. And that's where these 8 things come in. If you make them a part of your life, you'll find that moving less actually gives you more. First, let's talk about rest. Not just sleep, but real rest. The kind that restores you. You see, when you were younger, rest felt like a luxury, something you did when you were done with everything else. But at this stage in life, rest is a necessity. Your body doesn't recover as quickly as it used to. It takes longer for muscles to heal, for energy to return, for the mind to feel refreshed. If you keep pushing through exhaustion, you're only draining what's left. That's why you need to listen to your body when it says, slow down. That's wisdom, not weakness. Now, don't confuse rest with inactivity. Rest isn't about doing nothing. It's about doing what matters at the right pace. It's about giving your body and mind what they need instead of what they don't. You don't need to force yourself to wake up at 5 a.m. just because that's what you did in your 30s. You don't need to push through pain to prove a point. You need to give yourself permission to recharge. Because when you do, you'll find that you actually have more energy for the things that truly count. The second thing you need to focus on is strength. Not just physical, but mental and emotional strength. Many people think that aging is just about the body wearing down, but it's also about the mind staying sharp. And here's the truth. The way you think about aging will define your experience of it. If you believe that getting older means becoming useless, you will start to feel useless. If you believe that aging is about wisdom and depth, you'll experience it that way. One of the best ways to maintain your strength is through small, intentional movements. You don't need to run marathons or lift heavy weights to stay strong. But you do need to move with purpose. Stretching in the morning, taking a short walk every day, standing up and sitting down without using your hands, these small things keep your muscles and joints working. The goal isn't to do more, but to do enough. Enough to keep your independence, enough to feel capable, enough to know that you are still in control of your body. Now, let's talk about something that people often overlook. Stillness. Not just resting, but true stillness. The ability to sit with yourself, with your thoughts, without needing to distract yourself. A lot of people spend their entire lives running from silence. They keep themselves busy because they're afraid of being alone with their minds. But after 60, you realize something important. Peace isn't in the noise, it's in the quiet. Stillness is a skill. It's something you have to practice. It means being okay with silence, with your own company. It means not reaching for a screen every time you feel a little bit bored. It means learning how to breathe deeply, how to let your mind settle, how to be present in the moment. Because when you master stillness, you master yourself. This brings me to the fourth thing, connection. If you're over 60, you know how fast time moves. People come and go, friends move away, loved ones pass on, and before you know it, the circle that once surrounded you starts to shrink. That's why connection becomes more important than ever. You don't need 1,000 friends. You don't need to be the life of the party. But you do need real connections. People you can talk to. People who make you feel seen. It's easy to isolate yourself as you get older, especially if you feel like the world is changing too fast. But isolation is dangerous. It makes the mind shrink. It makes the heart heavy. So if there's someone you haven't talked to in a while, call them. If there's a group you used to be a part of, go back. If there's a way to meet new people, take it. Don't let pride or hesitation keep you from reaching out. Because in the end, the greatest currency you have isn't money or time. It's relationships. There's a point in life when you stop chasing what doesn't matter and start holding on to what does. That's the beauty of getting older. You gain clarity. But clarity only matters if you act on it. That's why the fifth thing you must do after 60 is simplify. Life becomes heavy when you carry too much. Too many obligations, too many worries, too much clutter, both physical and mental. When you were younger, maybe you thought that accumulating things was the way to security. A bigger house, more clothes, endless possessions. But now, you probably realize that the more you have to take care of. And the more you have to take care of, the more drained you feel. Simplicity isn't just about getting rid of things. It's about freeing yourself. It's looking around and asking, do I really need this? Does this add to my life, or does it take away from it? It's choosing quality over quantity, peace over busyness, depth over distractions. It's letting go of what no longer serves you so you have room for what does. That includes the people in your life. By now, you've learned that not everyone is meant to stay. Some people drain you. Some bring nothing but negativity. Some were once good for you, but have grown into something else. And that's okay. Not everyone belongs in your next chapter. The older you get, the more you realize that your energy is precious. You can't afford to waste it on people who bring you down, who make life heavier, who leave you feeling worse after every conversation. So, if there are relationships that no longer feel right, it's okay to step back. It's okay to choose peace, not out of resentment, but out of wisdom. Now, while you're simplifying what's around you, don't forget to simplify what's inside you. Let go of old grudges. Release the past. You've carried enough weight. Don't let anger or regret be part of it. Holding on to resentment doesn't punish the other person. It punishes you. Every moment spent dwelling on what hurt you is a moment you lose from your own life, and at this stage, every moment counts. That brings me to the sixth thing, nourishment. Not just food, but real nourishment. The kind that keeps your body strong, your mind sharp, and your spirit full. There was a time when you could eat whatever you wanted, stay up late, and still feel fine the next day. But after 60, everything changes. The body doesn't process things the way it used to. What you eat now determines how you feel tomorrow. So, if you want energy, if you want clarity, if you want to keep moving with ease, you have to give your body what it needs, not just what tastes good in the moment. That doesn't mean dieting. It doesn't mean restricting yourself or following the latest health trends. It simply means making choices that support you instead of working against you. Less sugar, less processed food, more real, whole meals, more water, more things that fuel your body rather than drain it. And nourishment isn't just about food. It's about what you consume in every sense. The conversations you have, the thoughts you entertain, the media you take in. If all you do is watch the news, filling your mind with negativity and fear, don't be surprised if you feel drained and anxious all the time. If all you do is dwell on what's wrong, don't be surprised if life feels heavy. Be mindful of what you allow in. Choose things that uplift you, that inspire you, that make you feel good about life. Read books that expand your mind. Listen to music that soothes you. Spend time in nature. Because what you feed your mind is just as important as what you feed your body. The seventh thing is movement. Not excessive, exhausting movement, but steady, intentional movement. A lot of people stop moving as they age because they're afraid of hurting themselves. They sit more, rest more, thinking they're protecting their bodies. But the truth is, the less you move, the harder it gets to move. Stiffness, pain, weakness, those don't come from movement. They come from a lack of it. You don't need to do strenuous workouts. You just need to keep your body in motion. Stretch in the morning. Walk a little every day. Do small exercises that keep your muscles and joints working. Strength isn't about lifting heavy weights. It's about keeping yourself functional so you can stand up without struggle, so you can reach for things without strain, so you can stay independent for as long as possible. And it's not just about the body. Movement keeps the mind healthy too. A short walk can clear your thoughts. A bit of fresh air can change your entire mood. A few deep stretches can release stress you didn't even realize you were carrying. So no matter how old you are, don't stop moving. Move less in terms of unnecessary effort, but don't stop moving in ways that keep you feeling alive. Finally, the eighth thing, the most important thing of all, purpose. Aging isn't about fading away. It's about shifting into a different kind of purpose. You're not here just to pass time, to sit around waiting for the years to go by. You're here to live, and the only way to truly live is to have something to wake up for. Purpose doesn't have to be something grand. It doesn't have to be about work or achievements. It can be as simple as tending to your garden, mentoring someone younger, creating something meaningful, learning something new. Purpose is about having a reason to get up in the morning, something that gives you a sense of fulfillment. Many people struggle with this after retirement. They feel lost, unsure of what to do next. But purpose isn't about what you do, it's about who you are. And at this stage, you have something priceless: experience. You've lived. You've seen things. You've learned lessons that younger generations haven't yet. That wisdom is valuable. It's something you can share, something that can guide others, something that gives your life deeper meaning. So don't let yourself feel like your best years are behind you. The best years are the ones you live with purpose, the ones where you wake up and know that your life still matters, that you still have something to give, that you are still growing. Aging is not about losing, it's about refining. It's about moving less in ways that don't serve you and focusing more on the things that do. Rest, strength, stillness, connection, simplicity, nourishment, movement, and purpose. If you do these things, you won't just be existing, you'll be living. We've covered all the major 8 things, but still there are some things that need to be talked about. We'll discuss them now. You see, the world tells you that aging is about decline, about slowing down, about losing what you once had. But if you've lived long enough, you know that's not entirely true. Aging isn't just about what you lose, it's about what you gain. You gain perspective, you gain clarity. You gain a deeper understanding of what really matters. And what really matters? It's not the things you once chased. It's not the job titles, the bank balance, the approval of others. When you reach a certain point in life, you realize that all of that was just noise. What truly matters is how you feel in your own skin, how much peace you carry, how deeply you are connected to the world around you. That's why the key to living well after 60 isn't about doing more. It's about doing the right things. Moving less, but moving smarter. Letting go of unnecessary struggle. Choosing what nourishes you instead of what drains you. And one of the biggest things that can drain you? Worry. At this age, you've seen enough to know that worry doesn't solve anything. You've worried about money, about health, about family, about the future. And yet, here you are. Many of the things you feared never even happened. And the ones that did, you got through them. So why keep carrying worry with you? It serves no purpose except to rob you of the present moment. You can plan for the future, you can be prepared, but you don't have to be consumed by what-ifs. Life has a way of working itself out one way or another, and you've already proven that you are strong enough to handle whatever comes. Instead of worrying, focus on gratitude. That's another thing people overlook. When you were younger, you might have thought happiness was something you had to chase. But after 60, you realize that happiness is simply noticing what's already good. The sun on your face in the morning, the taste of your favorite meal, the sound of laughter, a quiet moment of peace. These are the things that matter. And when you start paying attention to them, life starts to feel lighter. That's the power of perspective. You can focus on what's missing, or you can focus on what's still here. And the truth is, no matter how much has changed, no matter how many years have passed, there is always something left to appreciate. Now, let's talk about acceptance. A lot of people spend their later years fighting against reality. They resist change. They wish things were like they used to be. But that resistance only creates suffering. Aging is not something to fight against. It's something to embrace. The wrinkles, the gray hair, the slower pace. These are not signs of weakness. They are signs that you have lived, that you have experienced, that you have earned your place in the world. Think about it. Every scar, every line on your face, every ache and pain, it all tells a story of perseverance, of lessons learned, of moments that shaped you. Why be ashamed of that? Why wish it away? When you accept where you are in life, you free yourself. You stop wasting energy trying to be someone you're not anymore. And instead, you start living fully as the person you are now. There's a certain peace that comes with acceptance. When you stop looking back with regret, when you stop looking forward with fear, and instead just settle into the present moment, because this moment is all you really have. Now, acceptance doesn't mean giving up. It doesn't mean letting life pass you by. It simply means working with reality instead of against it. If your body isn't as strong as it used to be, treat it with care. If your energy isn't endless, use it wisely. If the world is changing in ways you don't understand, find your own way to adapt. You don't have to keep up with everything. You just have to keep going in a way that feels right for you. Another thing to remember, kindness. Not just towards others, but towards yourself. It's easy to be hard on yourself, to look back at mistakes, to wish you had done things differently. But what good does that do? The past is done, and if you're still here, it means you still have time to live fully. Be gentle with yourself. Speak to yourself the way you would speak to a dear friend. You wouldn't judge them harshly for the choices they made. You would remind them of how much they've overcome. So do the same for yourself. And while you're at it, be kinder to others too. If you've lived long enough, you know that everyone is carrying something. You know that life is not easy for anyone. A little patience, a little compassion. It goes a long way. People will remember how you made them feel. Long after you're gone, that's what will remain. Not what you owned, not what you accomplished, but the way you treated others. So choose kindness. Choose to be the person who brings warmth into a room, who listens without judgment, who leaves people feeling better than before. That is a legacy worth leaving. Now let's talk about laughter. Aging doesn't mean becoming serious all the time. In fact, the older you get, the more you should laugh. Life is absurd. People are unpredictable. The world is chaotic. And sometimes the only response that makes sense is to laugh. Laugh at the small things. Laugh at yourself. Laugh at the fact that you've made it this far despite everything. Laughter lightens the load. It reminds you not to take everything so seriously. And here's the truth. When you stop worrying so much, when you stop resisting life, when you start noticing what's good, you naturally start laughing more. You start feeling lighter. You start realizing that even in old age, joy is still available to you. But you have to choose it. You have to allow it. At this point, you've spent decades taking care of others, meeting responsibilities, dealing with challenges. Now, it's time to enjoy. Enjoy the small moments. Enjoy the people who bring you happiness. Enjoy the days you still have. Because aging is not about the number of years behind you. It's about how you use the years ahead of you. So worry less, but appreciate more. Resist less, but accept more. And above all, laugh more. Because at the end of the day, life is still meant to be lived.